enough to love, old enough to feel the beauty of the mountain, the longing of the sea. Listen to the blackbird singing in the tree. What a welcome a new day dawning. For it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. The bundle on your shoulder, a rolling will go. Walk away and talk away.
Admin starts at your feet. If you haven't got a good pair of walking boots with good ankle support, you may as well not start. But if you're out on a walk, once you go to buy a pair of boots, you do not buy the first pair what is thrown at you. You take time and you put on the correct socks, and you must get the correct boots to fit your feet. If you don't, you will pay for it later on. Blisters. I've got to say, I have never got a blister in my life, and I have walked thousands of miles, I suppose. So the first thing is the correct size where it fits your feet. That's the first important thing. If it takes you all day to get the right pair, and you don't go to the first shop, because they will try to obviously sell you a good pair of boots. So take time. But one of our walking rules is ankle support. Touch down. If you go over on your ankle, it will give you good support. It will not eliminate your problem, but it will.
Safety is first, to tell you the truth. Admin begins right down at the foot. Make sure your foot's in the right kind of boot.
Chris,
When you go with Kilbroney Ramblers, for it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. With the bundle on your shoulder, a rolling will go. Walk away and talk away your troubles and your cares. When you go with Kilbroney Ramblers.
cross, as you can see there, and you just take time to pull and cross over, and you'll see we hooks for them to go into. Everybody can have their own tightness, and you just cross over and loop. And also I put another knot, because if you don't do that, they will open. If a boot has to be opened quickly, you take out your pen knife and you just cut it up in seconds on your way. You don't even take time till you loosen your place. Also, winter time with gaiters is very important. It keeps your bottom of your ankles and your legs lovely and clean. And you see, if I hadn't the gaiters on today, the bottom of my trousers would have been like that there. That's the weight of my rucksack there. That's the weight of
It surely is.
Yes, that's what all the time I'm out, and even in the winter time I would have more. Fleeced and all would be.
And you've got a tent for 5
Yes,
sick
yes,
men.
Yep, just in case if somebody falls,
Yeah.
you put your shelter up. If you emphasize safety, 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 just keep and emphasize that, it cuts out a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
Not saying that anybody can slip and fall, you know, but it helps. It helps. And we all carry these here, these 2 of these on every walk, at least 2 in every walk. One at the front and one at the back. And good, and I keep in touch with them all.
William.
Okay, thank you. And also, I've got a set of binos in there, binoculars.
Oh yes.
Whereas I can keep a watch from afar. Yes, I have a lot of stuff in there.
So if there's any blockades along the way by
yes, I can.
bulldogs or anything like that, you preempt that. Early in the morning, a roving will go. Early in the morning, rain, hail or snow.
And if it's like this here, obviously you need waterproof over trousers.
Peter, could you come over here a minute, please? Peter, our work, I know you were involved at the very beginning of the Kilbroney Ramblers. Tell us how that happened.
Well, it happened at a cooking class in U3A in Newry. There's a class there, Men in the Kitchen.
Yes, you thinking about the diet or?
Well, we had all retired and we were learning. We thinking about the diet and we're learning to improve our cooking skills.
Yes.
And during the course of the class, I'm sure we're watching the pot simmering and somebody must have brought up the topic of walking.
Yes.
And I had just finished the Camino at the time. So of course I opened up the conversation about walking, and then Pat McBride had said that he'd done quite a bit of walking in Ireland, you know.
Yeah. Jim Joe McGlinton told me to mention that to you. He went to school with you, I believe.
Jim Joe McGlinton?
Aye.
Sure he did.
Yeah.
He went to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But
God, I haven't seen him for years. Well, Pat McBride, I've met Pat McBride at last. People have been talking about him because Pat from Barnmean, and the whole idea was cooked up while you were cooking.
when we were cooking, we cooked up there, dear.
Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was probably... My idea joining U3A was to actually contact people who maybe have of a like mind to come hill walking. So I joined John Doyle's cooking class, and from there I met a few of the fellas and girls in U3A, and I persuaded some of them to come to a meeting. There was John Doyle, Conlon McGuinness, who was the treasurer, and Frank McCurry, who was a mountain leader, very useful man to have, and then there was Peter O'Rourke.
Yes.
Myself, but some of the other founder members had, well, over the years they have dropped out, you know.
Yes. Well, you can't go on forever altogether.
No, we can't go for it. It was actually just the 3 founder members left in the club now, you know.
And you get a good man in from Finnard, not too far away from Barnmean.
We did indeed, yes. We were going probably a couple of years before
Yes.
William Mitchell, our present chairman, joined the club, and I could see straight away that he was the man to take over from me.
Yes.
So it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul.
I know, Beatrice, you lost your husband some years ago, and it's probably not easy to get back up again, your feet back in the ground, and start a new life. I suppose walking is a good way of I suppose, getting yourself back again.
Walking is a good way. It was hard to get out there, and you have to get out and mix with people, you know, because it's very lonely, and I found it lonely, and the only way to get out there was to get out and mix with people, to meet people, and it was lovely to get back out there and meet people, you know, and get talking with people and making friends.
I believe you met with a man on the walk that you took a fancy to. Don't tell us who he was now. I'm going to have to try to guess it after a while. But when was the first time you saw him, or what attracted you to him?
I was in, as you know, I come from Kilkeel and was going to Mourne Church, and my friend Myrtle Hannah, there was a walking club there, and they were going to Killarney one year down there walking, and we were down there, and there was a man there. Well, I didn't know him at the time, and he had lost his wife. That year we went, and it was in August 12, and I went that year, and I only knowed him just on the walks, and the next year I went again. It was in August again, the same, going down to Killarney again on the walks, and my husband had passed away, and in the January it was 14. That was the year we had met Pat McBride, Andy in Dunnard Park.
I was walking one Saturday down in Dunnard Park, and I met Pat McBride, but Pat doesn't live not terribly far from me. And he gave me, I didn't even know this, his walking group was formed. I didn't even know.
Peter,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I didn't even know it was formed. So he gave me his wee card, a wee card with the name on it, with Kilbroney Ramblers on it. So I give him a phone call.
People are slowly coming to join you now. How many do you expect today?
Well, all depends on the weather. You don't know to come. We could have 30, we could have 35.
Who's this man here?
This is a gentleman, Mr. McCrory.
How you doing?
Not so
I
much.
can't shake hands
He's
with you.
no leader of the C group today.
Okay.
Leader of the C group today.
And where are you taking your group, Frank?
Take them up Fiddler's Green and then up to the Stone.
We'll see you up the big stone. You're heading up there, aren't you?
Yes.
Kilbroney Ramblers.
This is great. It's changed my life completely since I joined this. I have worked from home, I have been self-employed most of our lives, and I've worked from home all the time. So I didn't get to meet very many people, but now I'm out twice a week, and the chat's just great.
Yes.
Just changes everything completely, and then you've all the trips away and all the rest of it. Like, there's always something to look forward to with it. So
What do you think you might be talking about today?
the weather.
All,
But I can't see too many coming out in such a bad morning, but
yeah.
never know.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
And I'll see you up at the big stone.
you will indeed.
Very well.
Yeah.
Marie, thank you
We'll
very
have a
much.
cup of tea up there. Okay,
Great,
thank
great.
you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Well, you make sure that you have all the bits you needed.
Yes.
And it's quite funny, actually. I've come out this morning without my rucksack, but there's enough people with enough stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I have my boots and my jacket. But normally, I think one of the primary things about this club is about safety
Yes.
and keeping people safe. So that people who are less experienced than the leaders feel very happy about coming out, and they know that they're going to come back safely.
Yes.
Or if there's a minor accident, anybody can turn an ankle.
Yes.
There'll be somebody there who has done the first aid training.
Right.
And indeed, one other thing the club does is actually provide training both in first aid and leadership.
You got a good cap on there, Frank. You're ready for anything?
Absolutely, Ty, absolutely. Yes, I said weather like this here, you never know what you're going to experience. But as William says, you know, safety is very important. And we have got people from both sides of the border, both sides of the community, and from all sorts of a working background. And we bring a lot of life experiences to the club.
The only variation we had was that the groups come together in their walking ability. So we had a separation not on religion or background. We have a religion how far you can walk.
Exactly.
But not anything you'd hear in the news.
Yes.
Morning, everybody. Good morning. I'd just like to welcome each and every one of you. Just to start off with the hour rate, unfortunately, is well over 1. which is far too high. More and more people has been tested positive, which is not a good news. So it's up to each and every one to do their part and to keep safe. But we're all on the wrong side of 60, I think. Unfortunately, and due to the heavy flooding. Once we go off the main track, we'll be into muck. So safety is paramount. So please keep watching where you're putting your feet. Okay, if you want to stop and look at the lovely scenery, which you have, you stop and you look at the scenery. You don't walk on and walk into a hole.
Make sure your foot has the right kind of boot. But what foot you dig with, we could not give a hoot. Diversity is precious, so much to learn when you're walking and talking together. For it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. With the bundle on your shoulder, a rolling will go. Walk away and talk away your troubles and your cares when you go with Kilbroney Ramblers.
We both got to know one another on the walks and got to know our situation of he had lost his wife and I'd lost my husband, and we could talk to each other and know how each other felt losing our partners, and we just loved each other's company and could sympathise and talk to each other, and we just took it from there and got talking and got talking.
Young enough to love, old enough to feel the beauty of the mountain, the longing of the sea. Listening to the blackbird singing in the tree. What a welcome a new day dawning. For it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. The bundle on your shoulder, a rolling will go. Walk away and talk away your troubles and your cares when you go with Kilbroney Ramblers.
You know.
Yeah, because people hear European projects and it's very hard to grasp how that.
Yes. Teresa McClaverty, such a beautiful place where you live here, and you get up and look at Binion and all these peaks every morning. Does it give you inspiration?
Well, it's definitely food for the soul, isn't it? And people, you know, anybody who visits us, some people will say, oh, you maybe get sick looking at it, but you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't get sick looking at it.
Yeah.
And I suppose throughout the district, you know, there's various different bits of scenery that people will think is the Mourns because that's what they're looking at.
Yes.
So yeah, clearly for us, this is my, what I call the Mourns, this view here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, your work brings a lot of a new sense of life to Newry, Mourne and Down council area through Peace 4.
So through the council, Newry, Mourne and Down District Council, we are the partner with SEUPB to deliver the Peace 4 funds into the district as a whole, right across the area. And the Peace 4 funds at their very core level are about bringing the communities together. And that's really, when we talk in terms of communities with peace, we talk about Catholic, Protestant and our ethnic minority communities. So as the council officers, we are responsible for helping deliver the monies and the projects out into the communities. So they can be from, we have larger projects that people may become aware of. Some of them would be infrastructure projects, some are shared spaces projects, but in particular what I would do would be the building positive relations projects. Those really focus around literally bringing the community together, be it through workshops, talking about shared experiences and a variety of things. And I suppose what really came from that then, being Peace 4, obviously there were peace programmes that went before that, but it was clear from a good relations point of view that there was a wee bit of maybe disconnect between groups from the same area, but just have never had the opportunity to engage with each other whenever the groups would be from different backgrounds. So that's where under the building positive relations, when we talk about capacity building, really capacity building is giving the groups in the community those skills to improve themselves and their organisations, and from a peace perspective to build relationships with others from different backgrounds that they wouldn't normally, not through choice, but just through normal everyday life, wouldn't have had the chance to share experiences and to build relationships with. But everything then sort of grows organically, because then what you get from the groups is really what peace is about, which is there in turn just they're naturally building relationships. And as an extension of that is really what this programme is about, and showcasing then the projects that these groups then come forward with, because in return for them giving their time and for building those relationships that are cross community and good relations, they're given the chance to actually, we call them animation programmes. So their animation programme or project is to give life to their idea, to their cross community idea.
Right. I am certainly enjoying very much the opportunity that you give to us to be able to go around and meet these various groups and present what they do, and in a sense join up the different precious dots around the countryside. I'm sure you must have come across some great characters along the line, the leaders in their own community in a way.
Yeah, I mean, every group you work with will have one or two great leaders. But in turn, to make these projects work, it's the people who are behind the scenes. Project involves the entire community group, which is part of the benefit of it.
Right,
so it has that further outreach
yes.
into those community groups, and then in turn the project itself, which is great for peace and great for the council, because it has that good relations outreach far beyond any of the initial programmes that we would run.
This particular programme that we're doing at the moment, that you've kindly come to join us on, is the programme of Kilbroney Ramblers, of course, and people from who dance in orange halls, people who play Gaelic football, and all this great gathering, going to the high place, that up to the top of a mountain where everybody can find a kinship.
Yeah, it's a bit like what you say about living here. It's food for the soul, isn't it? So when that group come together, and then it wasn't a surprise to us when that group came together and they wanted to explore each other's backgrounds and talking about the past and the troubles obviously isn't an everyday conversation that they would have had, but they embraced that and they saw that as a bit of a challenge. And clearly it's walk the talk. It's to, let's continue to do what we do and have a very natural conversation about the experiences of the past.
Yes.
So that group were great because they didn't have to go too far outside of what they were doing to really get the benefit of the cross community side of things and what peace was all about, really, what Peace 4 was about. Back to that.
Teresa, thank you very much indeed, and congratulations for all your work.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul, with the bundle on your shoulder, a roving will go. Walk away and tuck away
troubles and your cares when you go with Kilbroney Ramblers.
When Irish eyes are smiling.
Just 4 years ago, and it's been amazing. The group is amazing, and as you say, for your body and your soul.
First of all, I would just like to thank the police officer for Newry, Mourne and Down, the council, which I worked alongside to obtain the funding from Police 4.
You say it's a healthy thing to go walking. You're come from a medical background, you're a doctor, and once a doctor, always a doctor.
Long retired.
Why do people say it's good to walk?
Well, it's good to walk in many ways. It's good for your physical health, it's good for your heart and circulation, it's good to prevent heart problems and strokes, and it reduces diabetes, and it's also good for your muscles and bones, for osteoporosis, thinning of the bones. So it's good in many ways. But it's also good for your mental health as well. And there's a lot of evidence that depression is reduced by and treated by walking, by exercise.
I tell you, like, walking brings people together. You walk and talk, and going to Ballycastle, with people from all over Northern Ireland, some from the south of Ireland, and it helps people to get a different perspective, and people from all walks of life. We all do different jobs. Well, most of us are retired now, but so we have a lot in common, but we have a lot to teach each other as well, really. It's been really good.
Fantastic, Anna.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tommy, for seeing us today. Yeah.
Seems to be the higher you go up, the problem seems to get less. That's one thing I would say, like, taking out of walking. Even in personal life as well.
Yeah, and I think that's just so good, because when you're up in the hills, everybody's just the same, and there's no boundaries, there's no barriers, and people can be from all walks of life, and everybody has just got a common interest, and all their differences melt away. Just took it from there and got talking, and we ended up getting married.
Fantastic.
It was just lovely. Really lovely.
So if you hadn't been part of the walking world, you may not have met your husband at all.
No, but I think it's just wonderful what God has a plan for you.
And you like to do a bit of a dance now and again as well.
Oh, we do. Yes, we like a wee bit of a dance now and again, yes.
Yes.
We do indeed,
Fantastic.
Beatrice is a lovely girl.
And a good dancer.
Yes, she likes to do a wee waltz, waltz. As you all know, I've got 2 left feet. So we just have to keep watching not to tramp on her toes.
You come from where I come from. You come from Finnard, I come from Ryan, just a few fields away.
Yeah.
And in fact,
You were the man that got me to sing in the Orange Hall, which was amazing because of the troubles and all that sort of thing. We never met up with each other all down the years. But when I was playing there, I saw all these people whom I knew from working on Threshers.
Yes, all the neighbours.
But it was their sons who had become their own fathers, and I knew everybody. It was amazing.
Yes, it was indeed. That was a great evening to bring everybody into that hall.
Yes, yes, yes.
And listen to your lovely stories.
Yes.
Of the, as I would call the old days.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
yes,
bringing
yes.
everybody together, and that's what it's all about. Bringing the whole community together.
Yeah, and that's what you're doing with the.
Yes, that's what
you're all doing there.
Yeah.
For it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. With the bundle on your shoulder, a roll and we'll go. Walk away and talk away your troubles and your cares. When you go with Kilbroney Ramblers.
Hard to catch up tonight.
Nobody comparing, competing for a prize. Everybody sharing the peace of mind. First can be last, and the sun it will still shine. And the last can be first if you fancy. For it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. The bundle on your shoulder, a roll and we'll go. Walk away and talk away your troubles and your cares. When you go with Kilbroney Ramblers. Oh, it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. The bundle on your shoulder, a roll and we'll go. Troubles and your cares when you go with Kilbroney.